Hi lovelies, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're returning. Now today I am bringing you the most epic new spooky season deck, made even more special by the fact that it's made by somebody in our own community. This is Rumer Haven's new deck. She's got it available on Make Playing Cards. This is the incredible 4 Tarot, which comes not only with depth and love and a whole fan base within it, but it also comes with a downloadable guidebook with a poem for every card. Why is there a feather, a quill and a spike on the back? Well, the 4 Tarot is a tarot deck. It's a vampire tarot deck around the character of Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, if you know anything about Rumer, you will know that she is an absolute and utter stan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she's also self-proclaimed in love with Spike. You will also know, possibly, that Rumer is also a writer, and I have quite the collection now of Rumer's books. So I've still got to read this one. If you want a great ghost story for this time of year, What the Clock Knows is a brilliant story about a haunting. If you like to read whodunit, this is a whodunit that I couldn't work out. Rumer's also got books of short stories as well. Rumer recently sent me through the post her new novelette. It sounds really creepy. Some doors shouldn't be opened, the blurb says. But along with that wonderful gift and a thank you card of her book Ghosted, she also sent me her deck 4 Tarot. Now, about a year ago, Rumer made a couple of videos, well, 3 videos I think. One more poetry based around this deck, one video showing the major cards, and one video explaining the minor arcana. And I was blown away. And I loved it. And at the time, Rumer wasn't making this deck available to sell. She literally just made it for herself. Just released it for sale, and it is absolutely fantastic. So we have the major arcana. I'm going to flip through these. In the suits, we've got cups are cocoa. We've got pentacles are onions. We have swords, which are spikes. And we have wands, which are fags. Not a derogatory term. The word fag is what we in England call cigarettes. People say, I'm going to go for a fag, meaning they're going to go and smoke a cigarette. And of course, Spike's character was English, so that's why the ones are called fags. Let's just get that out of the way now. Anyway, I'm going to flip through these cards, but I am going to say, if you want to know what the cards mean, really go to Rumer's site and watch the 2 videos, one explaining the making of the minor arcana, one explaining the making of the major arcana. That's really where you're going to get the full knowledge. I am a Buffy fan. I only watched the first 4 seasons. I never watched the last 3 seasons, only because I moved out of the house that I was living in at the time at the end of season 4 and moved into a house with no TV for years. So that is why I haven't seen the last 3 seasons. What I can do is I'll flip through the cards quickly, and I will kind of explain what I can remember from watching Rumer's videos. But really, it's Rumer's videos you need to go and watch. But stay tuned, because at the end of showing you the cards, I am going to show you a load of really exciting pairings. So the Fool shows a torn up poem, because Spike's character, before he became a vampire, he was a poet. He got mocked for his poetry in that episode, and he left the party tearing up his poem with this word on, and that's where he met Drusilla, who turned into him willingly into the vampire Spike. So it really is his beginning origin story as a vampire. So the magician is his clothes. He often wore all of the t-shirts joined together with safety pins. That idea of being able to use what you have in front of you to do your work with. Brilliant depiction of the magician card. The High Priestess shows the dolls of Drusilla. Of course, when Spike first appears as a vampire, Drusilla is his other half. She's definitely High Priestess energy in that vampire group. And I love also the addition of the little pops of red as well, which we see in the Empress card, which depicts Spike's mom's embroidery, and also the little song that she sings as well early one morning. So Empress, Spike's mom had to be. The Emperor is a ring that Angel wears. Angel is very much the Emperor energy of the vampire group. We've got the Hierophant, that idea of stepping away from dogma or seeking out a teacher and dogma, if you will. This is from the episode where there is the chosen one comes in telling everybody what to do, and Spike gets so fed up with this little kid who's supposedly the chosen one that he puts him inside a cage and lifts the cage up into the sunlight to kill him. Real Spike energy. Going your own way, the rebel of the group. Lovers shows the coming together of Buffy and Spike. The Chariot is Spike's car, which has got blacked out windows so he can drive in the sunlight. Strength is the computer chip that gets put inside Spike's head to allow him to work with Buffy and not to kill. A nod to the strength of Spike's character for like wanting to find a better way to work with Buffy, to not be all evil. The Hermit, Spike's TV and chair from his mausoleum. I love the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune depicts like Spike's character going through either good times with the black t-shirt. We've got a depiction of the green blanket that he put over his head when he was at his very lowest, getting burnt by sunlight. And then this is another shirt that he wears. So kind of the progression of look of Spike in different outfits through the show. Justice is a ring that Buffy wears when she thinks she's engaged to Spike after Willow does a spell and it backfires. So that idea of like karmic consequences of spells really with Willow. But you've got the Hanged Man, which depicts when Spike was kidnapped by the other vampire. Death is the robot version of Buffy, the android version that dies. And oh my gosh, the kiss on the side of the box, again, that means something. It's when Buffy pretends to be the android version and she kisses Spike in front of the other vampires and he realises this is the real Buffy. And Temperance, you've got the Kill the Librarian mug, which features in the show. You've got blood on Weetabix. Of course, Spike was a vampire that, although he can't taste anymore and although he doesn't need food, he never wants to let go of those earthly pleasures, and you see that with him eating and drinking and onions and Weetabix. The Devil is the obsession between Spike and Buffy. This is the rug that they're pictured sleeping together under. The Tower. Now, Rumer spoke about a scene in Buffy where Spike really absolutely blew it with Buffy because he tried to overpower her and it just blew their relationship. The Star is a depiction of Spike's soul, and the Moon is describing a scene where Spike just falls against a cross in a moonlit chapel. And oh, honestly, go and watch Rumer's videos. They are so brilliant describing these scenes. The Sun is this where Buffy frees Spike, I think it is. Then you've got the Judgment and the World card. So this is a jewel that they went seeking in the show as well. So this is the Sword suit. And what I love about the way that Rumer's done this is she's really kind of followed the Rider-Waite layout of swords. Like you can see in this 4 of Spikes, we've got that idea of the figure resting down the bottom. The 5 of Spikes absolutely mirrors the sword positions in the Rider-Waite. You've got the 6 of spikes, that idea of the boat moving forward. The 7 of spikes, you can see the 2 spikes left behind and these being carried away. You've got the 8 where you can see you've got the entrance out if only you look for it. You've got that familiar positioning for the 9. The 10 of spikes is just, you can imagine the body at the bottom. Cards, you've got Page, Knight, Queen and King. You have the spike at the bottom so that you always know really clearly what suit you're in, and you have the addition of text from the show as well. The Page of Spikes, or the Page of Swords, is an old VCR screen with the words rewind. That this depicts Spike gathering information, very Page of Swords energy, watching video footage of Buffy fighting vampires. We've got the Knight of Spikes with work to do. We've got the Queen of Spikes, being able to absolutely see the truth. This is where the Doctor and the Goddess characters are the same being and they keep flitting between the two, and only Spike can see it. And the King of Spikes, or the King of Swords, where Buffy is getting lessons in how to fight vampires from Spike, and she asks for lessons over a game of pool. Wands, of course, is the fire of fags or cigarettes. So we've got the Ace, we've got the 2 pillars positioned for the 2, we've got the expansion of the 3, we've got like the celebration archways of the 4, we've got the conflict of the 5, we've got that victory march of the 6 with this high up fag being like applauded by the crowds. We've got the self-defense of the 7 where you're up against it. Of course, you've got the movement of the 8. We've got the boundaries of the 9 and that burden of the 10. Then the Page of Wands, we've got Home Sweet Home. This is where Spike knocks down the sign with his car of the town. We've got Spike's boots and come on for the night with that action of the Knight of Wands. The passion of the Queen of Wands, getting what I came for, depicts the scene where Spike turns up at Buffy's house looking for a lighter, but really it's like looking for Buffy. And then the King of Wands, again that sign from the town, but this time welcome to the Hellmouth. This is a scene from the very end of the show. So cocoa is used for the cups to depict when Spike turns up at Buffy's house and Buffy's mom gives him a cup of cocoa and he asks for marshmallows in it. And what I really love about this suit is the way that Rumer positions the handles of the cups. It helps to give the meaning, like the 4 of cups, you've got the 3 that you've already got, but you're pining about the 1 that you can't reach. You've got the sorrow of the 5 with the 3 tipped up cups there. You've got the 6 of cups, and then you've got the choice of the 7, and it almost looks like that central cup is the figure walking up and down trying to decide. I love this one because you've got the moon in the same position as it is on the Rider-Waite 8 of Cups card, but you've got a walking away from the blood moon, and this really depicts Spike's journey. He was trying to overcome that tendency to walk away from the blood moon towards his soul again. And you've got the 9 of Cups. Look, every single handle is easily got to and available to you there. So you can see like the handles of the 9 where all you've got everything you ever wished for is different to where the handles are positioned in the 7. These are options that you haven't yet decided. This, you've got everything, every handle is available to you. I just love that about this cup suit. And then the 10 of Cups, look at that with everything all brought together. The Page of Cups, you've got Nothing Rhymes. Again, a nod back to Spike's character beginning as a bad poet. The passion of like what he dreamed of being, very sort of Page of Cups dreaming. Then the Knight of Cups, or the Knight of Cocoa, it's blood with that kind of passionate desire in the card. Now the Queen of Cups with a rifle, oh my gosh, this was so beautiful when Rumer described what this was inspired by. So this is at a point where Buffy is angered and disrespected Spike so badly that he just runs to get a gun. He's just going to kill her. He's had enough. And he goes to her house and sees her sitting on the porch, completely bereft because her mom is ill. And instead of shooting her, which he could take the shot, he doesn't. He puts the gun down, goes and sits next to her on the porch and asks her what's wrong. Queen of Cups energy, showing that just that side of Spike's character. And then the King of Cups, you've got the cushions of Spike going in to find Buffy to tell her that she's the one. And then finally you've got the Pentacles suit, which are these rose carved onions that Spike loves. Perfect for the Pentacles, because this is the one thing that Spike can't give up. He doesn't want to give up these earthly pleasures, so onions is just so brilliant for a depiction of like the earthly zone. Again in the 4 you can see that positioning of the plates mirroring where the pentacles would be in the Rider-Waite. You've got the 5, the being left out with nothing in the cold of the 5, and I love them. Like, look at this 8 with the idea of that skill, becoming an expert with the skill acquisition, and you can almost see the tree with the pentacles down the tree from the Rider-Waite. The 9, that idea of luxury. You've now got red roses on the top of the onion, which kind of makes you think of that woman in that garden. And then the 10, the legacy of the 10. The page depicts the game where they played for kittens, the poker game. The Knight is where Buffy let the barrier down on her house so that Spike could come back in again when she trusted him again. And like the trust of like this one step at a time, plodding, trustworthy Knight of Pentacles. Just beautiful depiction. The Queen of Pentacles, where you promise to look after the earthly realm. This is Spike fulfilling a promise to look after Buffy's sister, and where she wears a helmet on the back of his bike to get her to safety. And finally, I love this. This is a depiction of Spike's house, his mausoleum, where he spent so much time decorating it, loving where he lived, ordering takeout food. It's everything earthly and about Spike. It's so lovely for a depiction of the King of Onions, or the King of Pentacles. These are the heartfelt cards that are so full of meaning. Pips with feelings. They've been deeply thought about. I love this deck so much. So what I thought I'd do now is I would give this deck a shuffle, and it shuffles beautifully. I've got some tarot and I've got some oracle out next to me that I've kind of pulled out the cupboard to have a go at pairing, just have a play. So not only does it give you a chance to get another look at the deck, but also to look at some pairs. So the first deck I want to try it with is Dark Angels Tarot. Of course, it makes perfect sense with a vampire deck. I do love sharing a slightly more pippish deck in the minors with a more pictorial deck, and I just think the energy of these two might just work beautifully. I mean, look at that. Yeah, see, this is very vampire-esque. I love it, especially with the juxtaposition of the 2 of Cocoa, and look at that with the Queen of Swords with that flash of red coming in. So, I mean, this, as you can see, is just perfect for this time of year. I do like this pop of colour in the middle. I think the Dark Angels deck is just a really gorgeous deck. It is a deck I think that Spike would definitely approve of. It's like got that sexy vibe as well. Yeah, so these are a definite pairing that I think would be just so lovely at this time of the year. Tarot is by our very own Shanna D. This is the Little Bird Tarot. So you might think that this this is like more of a spring or a summer deck, but I just think it just screams that sort of Victoriana. You can imagine these pictures of birds hanging up in a Victorian parlour, and definitely being pictures that Spike might absolutely love to hang on the walls of his mausoleum. Like if I walked into a vampire's house, these are the type of artworks I would expect to see. So it's almost like standing in their house to get to meet them, and I think that that's lovely. I love that pop of red on that bird. That was like a curveball one I just wanted to see, but don't you just feel like you've just walked into some gothic mansion where vampires are lurking around the corners? Let's go for a different oracle which does match the colour vibe. So this is a rock pool deck. This is Oracle of the Witch. Got that idea of sort of witches and vampires together. This combo might really work as well. So using this deck very limitedly, which I have, limitedly, is that even a word? The thing that I have found tricky, keyword, like poppets, it's something like really huge in a practice, like poppets, crystals. I've not found that quite so intuitive yet to work with as a keyword. So that was a stumbling block with this oracle, but I wonder whether I've just not given it enough time. I mean, I'm not using the guidebook well enough. I can't even remember what the guidebook has got in there. So you've got incantations, you've got witchery, I've got witchy guidance. You know what, I probably haven't given this a good enough go. But don't they look absolutely gorgeous together? Yeah, I think this is definitely my favourite so far. I think they do look absolutely gorgeous. Like I say, the fourth tarot has got like poppets of red throughout it. Black and white, and then just the odd pop of red. So colour wise it just is beautiful, absolutely beautiful together. Yeah, this is like going to the top of the list. I do love these together. It'll give me a second chance to work with this oracle and come to a decision of whether I can find a way to work with it or not. Like I say, I don't think I've really given it a good enough go. The Hip Witch Tarot, there are moments with Spike where the group of like vampires and the group of school kids like Buffy and Willow and all of their friends, there is very much kind of the cool kids, the hip kids, and I just wondered whether Spike himself wouldn't approve of a deck like this. It's one that is just sitting on my shelves. It's never been worked with. It is a deck by Barbara Moore. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck. I think since the version I found in the charity shop, it's been reprinted. I think it might be under a different name. If you know if that's true, you know what name it is, can you put a comment in the comments box for me, please? Because I'm sure somebody said that it had been reprinted under a different name. But, it kind of has that sort of Buffy hipness to it. You know, the hip kids at school, the odd but hip, they're all pretty cool, and they're all off in the environment doing magical things. What do we reckon? Completely different vibe to the two of them, but is it when you think of the character of Spike? I think this could work, you know, I really do think this could work. In a similar vein, another witchy, colourful tarot deck that I have never yet used. The Modern Witch Tarot. It feels very young, Buffy. Everybody's quite young in there. And I just wonder whether that young, witchy, high school vibe, and we've got, look at a helmet that you would see at high school, whether these two might not go together. Oh, look at that. We've got the Nine of Swords, the synchronicity of that. I love that. Do you know what? I think that works. And it's lovely because I've never been called to work with either the Hit Witch Tarot or the Modern Witch Tarot, but I love them. I just don't feel a call to work with them. And sometimes I think it's to do with like finding their pairing. If I can find their pairing, then it's game on for me. Do you know what? I really like these two together. I think there's something about the simple lines of the artwork in this, even more so than the Hit Witch. It's a lot more simple. The style of artwork isn't as cluttered. It's very simple lines. It's very clear lines, and I think it just works really nicely with the clarity of the Fool for Tarot. The Primrose and Prose Oracle deck. So you've got the link with poems, because there are poems for the cards in this Oracle. There are poems for the cards in this Fool for Tarot. So it might be like an interesting combination. Put the poems together and just see what happens. So this is more like purpley pinks. And you've got like the rainbow shimmer on these. Again, this is a deck that I haven't worked with as much as I thought I would. Again, I just can't seem to find a place for it when I'm working. Perhaps I've been coming at this deck wrong, you know, because it's all pink and it's got this rainbow shimmer in. I have kind of been thinking of it as like a glittery, shimmery deck. But if you actually look at the imagery, it is quite dark and ominous. Do you know what? That's what I've been doing. I've been coming at this deck absolutely with the wrong mindset. And look, as I say, glittery and shimmery, we get the World card come up. I mean, even this is like a bunny rabbit, but it looks like a startled bunny rabbit with the word prey on. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely brilliant, especially with the kitten card coming out, because the kitten was the prey of the vampires. Look at the keywords like decay. I was coming at it fluffy cutesy because, I mean, look at the imagery, but really it isn't fluffy cutesy. I mean, look, this mouse has got no eyeball really. It's just got the whites of its eye. I don't know why I haven't seen that before. But look, this one's has only got whites of its eyes as well. Oh my gosh, have we just found a way for me to work with this deck? Yeah, I love these two together. So this one has now been brought into action. That is just so brilliant. I mean, look, this one's Solace. I mean, that actually looks like it could be a vampire cat. Right, so let's throw into the mix another Oracle deck that I haven't been working with, the Tantric Dakini Oracle deck. When I get these cards out, they make me feel a bit weird, a bit shuddery weird. Perhaps they are just waiting for a vampire lair to make sense inside. Ooh, now we're talking. Again, I think with this deck, I was coming at it from like expecting it not to be dark, because it's a collage deck. Collage decks can be anything, and then I was being affected by the fact it was feeling dark, and it was taking me by surprise. But I think if I approach this deck a bit like the Primrose and Prose deck, from a feeling of it's supposed to be dark. I mean, look at this survival card. Goodness me. I mean, it's dark, isn't it? It's dark. Oh, look, we've got some passion there with Pearls Before Swine. Of course it is. Yeah, if I approach it expecting it to be dark, and that's the whole point, then I think it's going to work so much better for me. This is the Oracle of Mystical Moments, but I wondered whether the open space, by simple, I think it just needs to be really clear lined. with open space, and I just thought whether this oracle might not have that within it. It's also got that lovely sort of Victorian Gothic feel again to it. You do feel like these are pictures that you might find in an apothecary. Oh my gosh, these are nice, aren't they? There's a lot of open space in these cards, and it's really crisp lined, and I just think that works. Yeah, so these two are just gelling for me together beautifully. I feel like I could work with these two. I just suddenly thought of a tarot that I think will work beautifully. The Tarot de la Nuit. Why didn't I grab this first? So this is very sort of beautiful vampire-esque Gothic feel. These are definitely going to be a vibe. So it's that sort of beautiful vampire Gothic horror. I mean, I know this isn't a vampire deck. I'm sure Julie at Peekaboo Rose, is it Julie that calls it her vampire deck? Possibly, but I know it's one of Julie's favourites. But I mean, look at that. Oh my gosh, these are fabulous together. So it's like the beautiful, the young. Look, we've even got a Buffy in there. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at that synchronicity. It's just really exciting, isn't it, to find a pairing that you're just really excited about and just think look lovely. Look, you've got the circle, and the circle there. I love that. I just love them. So that is Form for Tarot with the Tarot de la Nuit. Oh my gosh, those are definitely going to be worked with. Oh, I just can't stop. I think it looks amazing. But that's it, guys. That is Rumer's Form for Tarot. So it's I think it's a fantastic deck for this time of year. I'll leave the links where you can get it. Like I said, this wasn't given to me for review. In fact, Rumer actively said don't review it because I want you to feel like it's absolutely a gift. Like I say, I normally spend all my own money on Rumer's stuff, so this was just a real surprise gift. Rumer, thank you so much. You are such a talent in our community, honestly. So I can't wait to work with this one. I love it. I love the passion and the love and the knowledge and the correspondences that are absolutely seeped into this deck but via Rumer's love of the subject matter. Just think it's brilliant. So that's it, guys. That is the Form for Tarot. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.